Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we are doing a full set of these beautiful ombre nails. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going in with this Tammy Taylor peel and stick cuticle pusher, and I am just using that to push her cuticles back. Alrighty, so after pushing back the cuticles, I'm going in with my new nail drill by McCart, and I do still have the review coming very soon. I'm just waiting on them to restock. But remember, when you're removing the shine from the natural nail, you want to make sure that you get as close to that cuticle area as you can. You don't want to leave any shiny spots on that nail at all, because it will cause lifting. And this is one of the most important steps when doing acrylics. I promise that if you do not take all that shine off the natural nail, your nails will lift. So be sure that you use a 180 sanding band to remove the shine, or you could also use a hand file if you're not in the stage where you're using a drill. It's the same thing, you just have to make sure that you remove all the shine. And also remember that we are not filing the natural nail to make it thinner. We are literally just filing to remove that shiny layer. Up next, we're going to go in and apply the nail tips. So remember, when you're applying the nail tips, you want to make sure that if one tip is too small and the other one is too big, you always want to go with the bigger one. And the reason I say that is because you could always file the tip down to make it fit perfectly, but if it's too small, I promise that it is going to either lift or it's going to crack because it wants to come back up, because you basically forced it to glue down on their natural nail. So remember, if one's too small and one's too big, always go with the bigger one like you see me do here, and then you grab your hand file and just literally file down the side that's too big. Apply your glue on the nail tip, just hold it down for a couple of seconds, and that's it. So another thing that I do want to mention is your nail tips come in numbers. It's usually either a 10 to a 0 or a 9 to a 0, which is what I have. So your number 9 is your smallest nail tip, which is usually your pinkies, as well as a number 8 is usually your pinky, and then a number 0, 1, 2, and 3 are usually your thumbs, and then all the other numbers in between are usually your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index finger. So keep that in mind when you're applying tips. That way you don't have to keep scrambling trying to look for nail tips. Once again, the number 9 and 8 are your pinkies, 0, 1, 2, and 3 are your thumbs, and then the other numbers in between are usually the rest of your fingers, which is your middle finger, your ring finger, and your index finger. And eventually you will get used to, just picking the numbers, and you won't even think about it when you're doing it. You just know which little compartment to reach for. So now I'm just going in with my tip cutter, and I am just cutting her nails down to the desired length, and she wanted them pretty short. So once again, I'm just cutting them down, and then we are going to shape them into a coffin shape. So I'm going to go in with a straight edge nail clipper, and I get these from my local nail supply store, but I think I've seen them on eBay, so I'll leave the link in the description to that if I can find it. But remember, also always go back and measure your nails against each other. That way you don't have one nail longer than the other. Alrighty, so once again, I'm going in with a straight edge nail clipper, and I am just cutting the sides down. That way, whenever we start shaping, it saves us a lot of time. And a lot of people send me emails asking me how can you speed up the process of doing acrylic nails. And the only thing I can say is just practicing. But a lot of the time, you find little things like this that will save you a lot of time when you're working. So as you go, you will find little techniques that work better for you that save you a lot of time. But other than that, the only other thing to do is just time yourself and always try to beat that time. And that's just the only way to get better. And then practice and repetition are just key. But anyways, right now I'm just shaping the nails. So as always, I'm using a 100 nail file, and we are doing them coffins. So remember, we just alternate from side to side. We shape the sides, we file the sides at a 45-degree angle as you see here. We just go from side to side, making sure that we file the same amount of times on each side. That way our nail doesn't end up crooked. And then we shape the free edge at a 90 degrees angle like this, so your nail is nice and straight. And then we just blend the tip right in the middle like this. And that's just to make the tip look a little bit more natural after we apply the acrylic on top. So once again, we shape the sides of the nails at a 45 degrees angle, the tip, which is the free edge, at a 90 degrees angle, and then we just blend the tip right in the middle to make it look a little bit more natural. Okay, so after that, I just dust the nails off and I am going in with my OPI primer. And like I said before, you don't have to use this OPI primer. You can use whatever matches your system or whatever primer that you want. But the primer is just to help the acrylic adhere to the natural nail. So after that, we're going to go in with our acrylic. And for that, I'm going to be using my Mia Secret acrylic system. I'm also going to be using a glow-in-the-dark powder, which is a natural color, and I used it before. I'm sure you guys have seen it. And then I'm also using the Cover Pink by Mia Secret. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm also applying some glitter on the ring finger. So I grabbed my little container with the glitter, and then the way to apply it is I dip my brush into the liquid and into the acrylic powder, and then I dip it into the glitter and I place it on the nail. Once again, I do dip my brush into the acrylic first and then into the glitter. That way the glitter is encapsulated into our acrylic, and then we just go back and do a thicker layer of acrylic over that glitter to make sure that it stays in there whenever we start filing and it doesn't come off. Alrighty, so for the rest of the nails, I'm going to be doing the ombre effect. So for that, I'm using my glow-in-the-dark natural powder, which is like an off-white color. And I actually mixed this myself, and all it is actual glow-in-the-dark powder. And I mixed it with some natural acrylic powder, so it gives me that off-white color. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that on all of the tips, and then I'm going to come back and do the Cover Pink by Mia Secret. Alrighty, so once again, I'm going to go in with the Cover Pink by Mia Secret, which is this really pretty pink. And you want to make sure that you don't use a lot. As you can see, I wiped some of it off because you don't want that pink to go all the way down to the tip. You want it to blend in the middle, which is what gives you that ombre effect. Once again, make sure you don't use a lot, just use a little bit, and if you need more, just go back and add it wherever you need it. And then I also am going to go back and add some of my Mia Secret Pink, which is that almost, what is this, almost clear. So I'm just going to go back and basically encapsulate this. That way I don't have to use a lot of my Cover Pink because I am really low on it. So this is the Mia Secret Pink. As you can see, I just do one ball and I do it over the whole nail to basically just seal those two colors together. And remember, when you're doing acrylics, you do want to make sure that you clean around the cuticle area really good. You don't want any of that acrylic on the skin because it will be really hard to take off and it will cause lifting as well. And then I also forgot to mention that I am using my alpha brush in a number 9 as well. I'm pretty sure you guys know that. But I did order some new ones, or I got some new ones in the mail. They actually sent them to me. And I am going to be doing another review. I've already done a review on their their brushes. But I know I have a lot of people asking me, how do I get my brushes so flat, and how do I use them whenever I get them out of the package. So I just want to show y'all exactly what I do with my brushes as soon as I get them out of the package. But once again, I am using my Alpha brush in a number 9, and as you guys know, I have a promo code for them, so be sure to check that out in my description. And another thing you want to know is when you're doing ombre nails, you do want to make sure that you are using a cover color, which I'm using the cover pink, but it has to be something dark enough or opaque enough actually that it's going to blend in with whatever color you're using on your tip. So once again, I am using the glow in the dark off-white color, and then for the back color that goes closer to the cuticle area, that is my cover pink by Mia's Secret. Alrighty, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other hand. So first I'm doing a thin layer of my pink acrylic by Mia's Secret, and that is just gonna be the base for our glitter. Remember, we're doing a glitter on this finger, so after I do a thin layer of acrylic, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna dip my brush into the liquid and into the powder, and then I'm gonna dip it into the glitter while I still have the acrylic on my brush. And then I'm gonna lay it on the nail, and just make sure you spread it out really good, and always go back if you need to more. But remember, you do have to dip it into the liquid, into the powder, and then into the glitter, and then you go back and encapsulate it with some more acrylic. And then same thing for the other nails. We're just going to go back and do the off-white color, which is the glow in the dark. We're just going to go ahead and do that on all the tips, and then we're going to come back and do the cover pink to all of the nails. Alrighty, so remember the steps are always going to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the acrylic on the rest of the nails, and then we're going to go back to reshaping the nails. So remember, when you're doing acrylics, you do have to shape before you lay your acrylic and after you lay your acrylic, and this is when I'm doing a full set. So the reason why we're reshaping the nail is because after you lay the acrylic down, a lot of the time it takes away from your shape. So we literally just have to redefine that shape, and it doesn't take long at all. It's literally just a file or two for every nail, and that's it. So after this, we're going to go in with our e-file, and we are just going to file the rest of the nails to make sure that they are nice and smooth and that we seal around the cuticle area really good. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in with my e-file, and I am using a fine drill bit, and we're just going to file around that cuticle area. And this is a very important step that you do not want to skip. You have to file around that cuticle area really good to seal that acrylic, because if not, this is when your hair starts getting stuck under your nails, water gets trapped under your nails. Whenever you try to pick something up, it hurts really bad because your nail just lifted up. So this is why you have to go back and file around that cuticle area really good. And usually I always say that you want to make sure that you are able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that there is no acrylic on the skin, because if there is acrylic on the skin, then most likely you are going to have lifting. So you have to make sure that you work smarter and not harder, and that comes from even just when you're applying your acrylic. You don't want to have it too close to the cuticle area, and then whenever you're filing, you also want to make sure that you file the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Alrighty, so after we finish filing all the nails, I'm going to go in and buff them. So when you're buffing them, this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left from your e-file or your hand file. So you want to make sure that you buff really, really good, because if not, I promise you will be able to see those scratches through your polish and it is not cute. So make sure that you always go back and run your thumb over the top of the nail just to check and make sure that they are nice and smooth. If not, just go back and buff it some more. After this, we're just going to dust the nails off, and then I'm going to wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, or you can have your client go wash their hands off, whatever works for you. Alrighty, so next she is getting glitter on her index finger. So I'm going in with my GLAM gel base coat. I'm doing a thin layer on that nail, and then I'm going to come back and do the glitter. And while I'm doing is I'm literally just picking it up with a little cuticle pusher, and I'm just sprinkling it over the top of the nail. Make sure that you turn your finger to the sides to make sure that you get a full coverage over the whole nail. And then if you need to add some more, that's fine. But after that, we're just going to cure the nail for 60 seconds. And then I'm also going to be applying some bling. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm using my Mia Secret Gel Resin. And I'm also going to be using the activator, which is what helps that glue dry. I'm just doing random little rhinestone designs on the nails. And that's going to be it. Alrighty, so once again, I'm using my Mia Secret Gel Resin, my SS6, my SS12, and then here I'm spraying the activator spray, which helps the bling dry. We're going to put them under the light for 60 seconds, and we're going to do the same thing to the other hand. Once again, this is my GLAM Gel Base Coat, and I'm doing that for the glitter. Alrighty, so I applied the bling on the other hand as well. So now I'm going to go back and apply my IBD gel top coat. We're going to do that on both nails, and then we're going to cure them under our UV LED light for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so I am using my Sun 3X UV LED light that I recently got, which I have a review coming very soon. And this is the final look. They turned out beautiful. That ombre is just flawless, and then that glitter just topped it off. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNailed32, and I'll see you guys next time.